Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be going through PSLE 2025. Okay, question number 6. Okay, this is actually a very tricky question. Okay, very tricky. Okay, so over here we have K. Okay, it's made out of many small fruits. Okay, notice it's a plural, so they are trying to tell you this fruit has a lot of small fruits within it. They are packed tightly together. Okay, so small fruit packed together, and you notice this part plural. Okay, then within this small fruit, then they show you a lot of black dots. Then they tell you these black dots, right? Actually, are your seeds. So again, plural. Okay, so nothing. The fruits itself are plural. The seeds itself within the fruits are also plural. Okay, so this is the first part that you need to get it. Then they tell you that K develops from one flower. Okay, one flower. This whole thing comes from one singular flower. Okay, so which of the statement about the flower is correct? So from here, right, you need to guess whether is it a singular ovary or plural ovaries, or the ovule, is it singular or plural? Basically, is it one or more than one? Okay, for each or for both ovary and ovules. Okay, it can be quite easily to be confused with these two words because they are highly similar. Okay, so but first of all, let's take a look at all the evidence that's being present to us. So small fruits, we know that fruits come from ovary. So over here we have many fruits, and these fruits come from ovary, right? So in this case, many fruits, it must have developed from many ovaries. Okay, many fruits develop from many ovaries. Okay, so in this case, which one is the correct one? So basically, either 3 or 4, because over here this is 1, so this is out. Okay, so then from here we see that there's many seeds inside them, right? So over here, many seeds develop from many ovules. Okay, many ovules. So in this case, it should be number 4. Many ovaries and many ovules. So 4 is the correct answer. So some students, when they are doing this, right, they are easily confused with the part that shows you about the fruits. Okay, because most of the students that are in schools, right, they are exposed to usually fruits that are singular. Okay, it's quite hard for them to expect that the fruits between the flower can come from many ovaries. Okay, and this is one part. That's why usually most people made the mistakes of choosing 2. Okay? In fact, when I read this question, I also nearly choose 2. I didn't actually notice this part. There's actually a S over here. So actually 2 is the wrong answer. Okay, so over here in real life, right, how come we have these fruits with many ovaries and many ovules? Okay, so this is actually a typical fruit that I actually looked up online. Okay, so one of these example that resemble the closest, right, will be one of these. Okay, I actually made a trip to China and actually saw this fruit before. Okay, it's called the Lao Hu Guo. Okay, so over here, this whole thing is actually the come from one flower, and this whole part is actually developed from one ovary. Okay, so you can see that there is actually a lot of ovaries within the flowers. Okay, and I try to remove this part. I'll insert the video now. Okay, so after you see the video, right, actually I pluck out 2 seeds from one fruitlet. Okay, over here. So this is what we call an aggregate fruit. Okay, so how the flower look like, right? It actually looks like this. Okay, the flower actually looks like this. Okay, so you can see there is multiple stigma. Okay, multiple stigma, and this is the ovaries that will develop into your fruits. Okay, so this is come from one ovary, one ovary, one ovary. So another example will be raspberry. Okay, where you have many ovaries that will develop into many fruitlets. Okay, in this case. So in this part, right, so we have seen a very good example of number 4. So what about 1, 2, 3? Okay, these are examples that you can see in real life. So for example, okay, fruits that have one ovary and one ovule, it looks like this. Okay, so this is one ovule. It developed from one ovule. This developed from ovary, from ovule. Okay, so this part is the fruit, singular. This part is the seed. Okay, so this is number 1. Okay, so another example for number 2, one ovary, many ovules. Okay, so this is number 2. Okay, so you can see a dragon fruit. Okay, so this whole thing come from one ovary, and you can see there's a lot of black dots over here. This black dot actually developed from many ovules in this case. Okay, so this is actually our number 2. So number 3 will be quite difficult to find, but I managed to find one. It's called the blackberry. Yeah, over here. So over here, this part, actually the whole thing developed from one flower. So this part is developed from one ovary, and you can see there's a lot of it, right? So the whole thing developed from many ovaries. Okay, and for each of this fruitlet, okay, inside only got one seed. Okay, so each of them inside within the ovary, there's actually one ovule that will develop into one seed within each fruitlet. Okay, so sometimes they call this part over here a fruitlet. Okay, within the whole fruit. Okay, so this part is actually correspond to example number 3. So with that, right, this answer is actually taken out from real life example, but very tricky because not many of us actually seen this kind of example before, which is also why we take a video to actually look at it. Okay, before I end off this video, just one simple tips for those that find it difficult to remember the difference between ovary and ovule and what develop into, right? You can use one very simple trick over here. I put it this part over here. So ovary will develop into fruits. Sometimes you may confuse with the word seed, right? So you find the word that is in common. You take a look at these two words. What are the letters they have in common? The letters that they have in common is R. Both have R. So in this case, we can remember it as R develop something that has R. Okay, so let me remove this part. R okay, so this is actually how you can remember. R become R, ovary becomes fruits. Then in this case, the other one, ovule, will be quite easy. Okay, ovule, okay, will definitely be the one that develops seeds. But if you cannot remember how to remember it, so same thing, look for the letters they have in common. The letters that they have in common in these two words will be the word E. Okay, so in this case, let me remove this. Okay, so E. So it will be R become R, E become E. This will help you to remember which one will become the fruit, which one will become ovule. Okay, the spellings, they are very highly similar. The way that they pronounce can be quite a bit similar if one is not careful. Okay, with that, this will be the end of this video. Thank you very much.